Thank you, Madam Speaker. At the outset, I would like to thank our party leadership for giving me an opportunity to speak on this very important subject, disaster management. Now, the genesis of disaster management bill, we have to go back to 2004. On 26th of December, there was a huge disaster in the form of a major earthquake that happened off the west coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, in the Indian Ocean. The earthquake was massive, which triggered a number of tsunamis, which affected 14 countries. Over 280,000 people lost their lives. Now I am telling this from my personal experience. I was in the Indian Navy. I was posted in Port Blair when this huge tsunami happened. Now that was a first of its kind. There was a tri-services command, integrated command in Port Blair, consisting of Navy, Army, Air Force, including the Coast Guard. The armed forces came to the rescue of the people. We were not prepared, but with innovation and whatever the resilience that is there in the armed forces, thousands and thousands of people were evacuated from various islands of Andaman and Nicobar. Why I am telling this, sir, is because I was involved during the rescue operations. So that is why when I look at the bill that has been introduced, there is a serious requirement of going to the drawing board. Why? I will let you know, sir. Now, before I go ahead, we are speaking about a holistic approach whenever there is a disaster management, and that is mentioned in the bill. In 2004, when the disaster happened, the then Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, and the then NEC chairperson, Srimati Sonia Gandhi, flew to Port Blair, told the armed forces and the people, the nation stands with you. There will be no stone left unturned. We will do all that is required for the rescue operation. That is the type of support required right from top. So when we look at the bill, if we look at on page 15, para 2 and para 4 of Statement of Objects and Reasons, it says, and I quote, for undertaking a holistic, coordinated and prompt response to any disaster or threatening disaster situation. However, instead of making it holistic, at page 7, line 38, the bill is mentioning about creation of urban and local authorities. Now this is where you are contradicting the holistic approach. You have a command and control at one place. You will require equipment, you require logistic support, you require medical support, machinery, generators. That is at one place, and we are trying to fight a disaster or manage a disaster at some other place. I'll give a simple example. In my state, in Vasco da Gama, the state government has identified two nodal agencies, Goa Shipyard Limited and Mormugao Port Authority, along with the Indian Navy, as the nodal agencies as part of the disaster management. Now there itself, within a range of 5 kilometers, there are chemical tanks belonging to Zuari Agro, which is now Paradip Phosphates. God forbid, if these tanks explode, neither MPT will be able to extend support nor Goa Shipyard. Similarly, there is a second airport at Mopa, which is at extreme north. How are we going to take the equipment and machinery from Vasco da Gama, extreme south, to extreme north? I think so. I would request the Honorable Minister, you can please have a look. I can also give inputs on this. Next, it is also mentioned about threatening situations in the bill. Now, sir, what are the threatening situations? With what is happening in my state, I will say, reckless cutting of hills leading to landslides. It's happening in Uttarakhand. It is happening in other states. It has happened in Wayanad. Cutting of forest, cutting of trees, diversion of rivers, including River Madai, dredging of rivers. That means you are harming the ecology. Filling of low-lying areas, illegal sand mining, illegal quarrying, cutting of mangroves. Mangroves is the first line of defense in case of a tsunami or floods. Sir, coming to para 4.
Kindly conclude.
Sir, about the bill. Coming to para 4, line 3 on page 15.
So far you are not speaking on bill.
Sir, bill.
You are completely on the bill. Please kindly conclude.
Sir, I'm on the bill, sir.
True, but time is limited. There are so many speakers from your party.
Learning from, it is mentioned in the bill, learning from past disasters and experience gained during the implementation of the Act. The Disaster Management Act 2005 has been reviewed in consultation with all stakeholders, including state governments. Sir, who is the real stakeholder? It is that farmer, it is a fisherman, it is a tribal, it is a villager. They know what actually is going to happen and how to tackle a disaster. For example, in the disaster which happened in 2000...
Kindly put your demands.
Sir,
through chair,
I'm telling you. Sir, in 2004, 24 hours before the tsunami, the primitive tribe called Jaravans, they climbed up the hill on high altitude. After the tsunami, when the scientists came to Port Blair, they wanted to know 24 घंटे पहले ये Jaravans ऊपर कैसे गए, उनको कैसा पता चला कि tsunami होने वाला है. So these are the indigenous people who have local knowledge, and today we are displacing the indigenous people instead of tapping their knowledge to do a better disaster management, sir.
Please conclude.
We are talking about creation of database. Database, sir, should have the details of the terrain, places where there is likelihood to be landslide. There should be no development zone. We cannot allow construction in no development zones. This is an impending danger where disaster is going to happen. We have seen the disasters in Wayanad.
1 minute.
Sir, 2 minutes. Wayanad, Gujarat, Bihar, so many places. The same reason, sir. We are not serious about tackling the disasters. Next is, I'm coming directly to my state where the disaster is happening. Now the 3 linear projects are directly impacting the rivers, the hills, the low-lying fields. For what, sir? To benefit what? We are only transporting coal. Coal becomes a bigger danger. It is going to become a bigger disaster. And finally, sir, before I conclude, I would like to say, sir, even the expansion of national highways, what we are doing, we have to be little careful. In a village called Bhoma in Ponda Taluka, we are going to destroy 4 temples, including an ancient lake. For what? Only to transport coal and benefit one and only Adani. Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद अध्यक्ष महोदय कि आपने मुझे बोलने का मौका दिया। आज हम यहाँ